Now, a senator thrown out of the Senate for being a dual citizen.
Yeah.
And there was discussion. You're certainly not a dual citizen, are you? You became an Australian citizen.
Yeah,
were.
I became an Australian citizen in July 1980. When I was deciding to run for the Senate, I decided I better do something about this. I hadn't had a New Zealand passport in decades, and I found out I was still a New Zealand citizen, which I didn't know, right? So I can understand if Ludlam didn't know for a while. But then, so near the end of 2015, I tried to renounce my New Zealand citizenship, and they wouldn't accept my Australian passport as recognition because they said it's too easily forged. So I had to go back and get my New Zealand birth certificate, get Dutton to release a new copy of my naturalisation papers, and then I finally, on March the 7th, I think it was, of 2016, I got my renunciation papers, and he called the election in the May. Now, Ludlam there was a change.org petition against Ludlam 3 years ago, which should have alerted him, and the irony of it now, I found out in the Weekend Australian, that Ludlam was actually collateral damage, that the John Cameron, the constitutional lawyer out in Perth, he was after me, not Ludlam. And he asked for 3 weeks ago. He said, check out Hinch and Ludlam. And he said he thought Hinch, the human headline, wouldn't have complied, and Ludlam would. It was the other way around.
Did you renounce the New Zealand citizenship because you were aware of the requirement for the Senate?
Yes, Section 44.
So bloody Ludlam should have known.
And when the John Org thing came in, he should have checked it then. And when the Tony Abbott stuff came up, the campaign against him, 40,000 people signed a petition about whether he still had dual citizenship, which he now has released a letter saying he did retire from Britain in 1993. The one that interests me...
Julia Gillard.
I don't know about Julia Gillard. She was born in Wales. The one that worries me is Senator Erica Betts. Now, it's come out, there was a High Court action against him, which has only been dropped by some Tasmanian art dealer this week, because it turns out Betts only renounced his German citizenship in 2010. Now, he was a senator long before that. So why isn't he in the gun? He was illegally elected in the first place, 3 times, I think, before 2010. So Senator Erica Betts, he renounced it, I think it was in March 2010. Now, Malcolm Roberts was born in South Africa. There's questions over Lucy Kichui, because when she came to Australia, they changed the constitution and you had to reapply to be a Kenyan, so she's probably clean. But I think it should be, and when you nominate through the Electoral Commission, when you nominate, the paper you put in and submit, you should say, were you born overseas? Yes. Have you any links to a foreign power now? Do you have dual citizenship? It should be there before you pay your nomination fee. It is quite flatly there. And the joke, of course, is, as Peter Fitzsimons points out, the only person who can have one citizenship which is not Australian is the monarch, is the Queen. She's not Australian, even though she's the Queen of Australia.